consciousness to the resonance of the heart and feel what is real. Hi, beloved friends. A young woman called me this morning crying really deeply and desperately, crying because she heard the news of the invasion of Russia to Ukraine. She explained that as a child, learning in school about wars and such, she felt, oh, how horrible that people were ever that way, that they would want to kill each other and things. Thank goodness I live in a time when there's no more war. We don't act that way. We're like real human beings. And then she hears about a war and just gets so upset. So upset. Oh my God, that horror that was past history, it's happening now. It's happening now. Let's come into our hearts. Take a deep breath in. Feel into your heart. Put your hands on your heart if you need. Just really feel into your heart and get into your heart. Let's be conscious. Let's be aware. Now, why is it that we need media, TVs, radios, internet blogs and stuff to let us know that there is unrest in humanity? Because we only get upset when we are seeing it through a screen, like a Hollywood film, that there is this war going on between Russia and Ukraine. Okay, that's where the cameras are focusing on. Yet what about the unrest that is happening in Taiwan with China, or in Yemen, or in places we don't even hear about? How about Canada, right at our border? Why are we not in tune with what is really happening? And we have to get our awareness is just focused through a screen. That media tells us where we are going to place our emotions and our heart, just like Hollywood has been doing for a long time. You're sitting in a comfortable chair, eating your popcorn, but you totally experience whatever's going with those light particles on that screen, which isn't even a reality. It's playing with your mind. So now, let's get to where the real battle is, the real world war is, the reality is. It's in the mind. It's from within the mind that our actions come out. It's from within the mind that we manipulate our feelings, just like Hollywood with their movies and their camera angles and their whatever they're showing. Isn't what we're seeing an extension of Hollywood? That's why we need to stop, breathe into your heart, and become conscious from within your heart. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We only have two choices at all times. Do we have a desire to connect with, experience, and express love, beauty, goodness, holiness, or not? Those are the only two choices we have. No matter what's going on around us, we only have the choice of participating as we are originally designed in love, expanding beauty, expanding expanding joy, expanding goodness and holiness, or to not. And whatever is happening around us, that gives us an opportunity to make our choice to be loving, to be kind, to be good, to expand beauty in whatever situation we're in, right? So I'm going to jump now to the mother's heart, the mother who sees her children fighting. She has two children here. One has attacked the other. This is a mother. She's going to turn herself to the child who attacked and restrain that child and open her heart to understand, why does that child feel so insecure, feel so powerless, that that child has to act out on another child to try to create some sort of image of power because this child is feeling powerless. What is a mother to do? A mother is to hold that child, remind that child, look at your talents, look at your ability to create beauty, to create joy, to create goodness. Look at that. Engage in that. Engage in that. What have I neglected in helping you to see who you truly are? You are my child. You are my child of love and heart and goodness and beauty. What has allowed you to go into a tangent of feeling insecure enough to have to try to take power over somebody else? Now I'm going to share with you with what I feel has been happening. And this is really from my earlier video, if you want to look at my earlier video. If you are building your sense of worth, your sense of identity, your sense of self up upon the belief system that you have to have power and control over others, if you have to have control over your dog or your cat or people or a business or a country or whatever it is, if that's your identity around your ability to have control, then you're always going to be struggling, because the normal, natural, organic way is that each entity has its divine sovereign power. Each entity is an expression of the divine with the power of the divine. And when you have lost connection with that awareness of your unique expression of the divine as being the power of the divine, the power of good, the power of love, the power of holiness, the power of beauty, then you feel you need to get power someplace. So it's a dissociative disorder. If you are in psychology, if you understand diagnoses, it's on the extreme spectrum of a dissociative disorder to have this power addiction, which goes back to being disconnected from knowing who you are. And yes, there's been a lot of drugs and alcohol through messages coming through Hollywood and media and schools and religions and everything else to tell you that you're not enough, that you're not connected to the source of life and love and divinity, that you aren't a part of divinity yourself. So in that dissociative disorder, disease, mental illness, there's fatal disorder called power addiction, because you've lost connection with your own internal power, with your own knowingness of who you are. And when you lose that connection, yourself, you can't connect with anything else. That person in front of me is the same equal value of unique expression of the divine. That animal in front of me has the equal value of myself as a unique expression of the divine. But when you lose that connection with knowing who you are as a unique expression of the divine, you can't see it in anybody else either. And what you're ultimately trying to do is to reconnect with who you truly are. You can't see that connection with the trees, with the plants, with the sun, with the sky, with the little bugs. Everything becomes something meaningless because you have made yourself meaningless in your own mind. That is where the war is. That is where the conflict is. And that is where the battle needs to be won, is to take control of your mind, to really go into your heart and know who you are. And in knowing who you are, you will know what every being in creation is, a unique expression of the divine source. There is only one creator. And that creator has given us the ability to make choices with our mind, to create our illusions and disillusions and delusions, or to choose to stay in alignment with who we are, in oneness with the divine. So going back to the crying young woman who was made aware of this dissociative disorder that we're experiencing in humanity, many of us individually, to show in a collectiveness. Just because we get to see it on a screen, it helps us make awareness of the dissociative disorder that is not just in what we're seeing on the screen. We're seeing one small scene of this dissociative disorder around the world. And what's out there is in here. Where is it in myself that I am disconnected with the awareness that I am of the one source, divine, good, holy, beautiful being? I am the fruit of that tree. I am a unique expression of that divine. I don't need to get my power from anywhere else, because I'm in touch with the power of who I am, an expression of the divine. I don't need to control anybody. I don't need to be like somebody else, because I am my own unique expression. I don't need somebody else to think like me. I don't need to think like somebody else. I don't need to have power over anything else. I don't need to control anything, because I'm already in control through my connection to the divine. And I play my unique expression, expanding goodness, holiness, beauty in my environment, wherever I am, within my mind, with the neighbors around me, with the objects around me. Breathe into your heart, beloveds. You are beloveds. Please hear. Please receive the whispers of remembering. We are beloveds. All of us are beloveds. And borrow a mother's heart for a moment and see your children in conflict and see the one who's attacking and know this one is the most lost. This one is the most needing of love and remembering of who he is. May this focus be in your prayers. Help us all remember who we are, and therefore we may see one another for who we truly are, unique expressions of the divine. Thank you, beloveds. Thank you for listening. Please breathe into your heart. Remember, hear the whispers of remembering, and hold your heart open that we all